Hey, welcome in to a Monday edition of the PHNX D-Backs podcast right here on PHNX. My name is the mayor of PHNX, occasionally known as Derek Montilla. This man next to me is obviously not Jesse Friedman, but he is our overlord. Jesse. He does look.
The stature is very Jesse.
If we used you as a stunt double for the Jesse Friedman movie, I don't know if people would really notice like the driving
I'd have
scenes
to get the goatee going though.
It's not really a goatee; it's just chin hair.
It's just the chin hair.
This is Father
Overlord
about
this,
Jacob.
It's chin music.
It's his chin. It's sweet chin music, is what it is.
Sweet chin music.
Sweet chin music. This is the one and only Father Overlord Jacob, and of course, that's the people's producer Damon on the ones and twos. Arizona Diamondbacks managed to salvage what looked like a disastrous situation in San Diego over the weekend, somehow splitting a 4-game series with the San Diego Padres. We'll take a look at those numbers here shortly, but the Diamondbacks did win in the finale by a score of 9-3, which felt like a fairly significant.
Offensive.
The offense looked offensive, right? And I mean, this is, I think, one of the reasons why it was a little frustrating.
This offense has been offensive for much of this season.
Periods. But I think it might have been you that tweeted this yesterday that just like out of nowhere, and it might have just been off the D-backs account, that like out of nowhere, they will pull like a rabbit out of a hat.
It's amazing.
And just explode for a couple games to like just level out they are the epitome of like everything regresses to the mean, but they usually regress from a very, very, very low average to a relatively
They can lose average. 2 out of 3, but the end numbers of the series, when we take a look at the count,
they outscored them.
It looks like they did a great job, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, and that's kind of what's been happening here a little bit. That's not the case in games 2 and 3 of this series. The Diamondbacks absolutely got destroyed in those 2 games by a score of 13-1 and 10-3, but they do win in the finale by a count of 9-3. Currently 4 games below 500 at 31-35. What are your feelings after 66 games about the Diamondbacks being 4 games under 500, considering, once again, not that you guys need to be reminded of this, but the pieces they're missing?
Yeah, it's certainly it's hard to say that it's not disappointing, right? Like there are a lot of things about this start to the year that feel incredibly disappointing.
They don't even feel like they've been as bad as this record indicates at times, and then at other times,
sure, they feel like Rockies.
Yeah, don't even have even
no
won
shade
20
to the
games.
Shade to the Rockies, but like,
those
they
bottom
do
tier
feel like
teams.
that type of a team sometimes. I mean, you watched them lose whatever it was, 13-1,
10-3.
Pavin Smith, yeah, the 10-3 is a little misleading there. Humberto Castellanos, obviously.
Don't even get me started on that. We already did that.
I know you guys talked about that on Friday, so we don't need to go too far in depth on that.
Yeah. I still feel like, and you agree with me on this, like in the end, the offense didn't do anything, and it ended up being the right call by Torrey.
Sure, you're at the end of a
13.
Like Sunday was 13 straight games.
Yeah, they finally get a day off today.
Today is their day. Like I know it seems easy to just say like, you know what, they climb back into this, and maybe Torrey made the wrong decision. Like I am not one to say that like everything Torrey does is correct, because I do think that there is some level of questioning a manager that's probably the right thing to do.
And even Torrey would admit to that.
Correct. However, he had to make a decision, right?
He does.
Like, we're on game 11 in a row, 11 straight days of playing baseball, where I don't know if you guys paid attention to this, but the starting pitching, not really going deep into just about any of the games over the last like 7 or 8 games.
Let's talk about it. 2/3 of an innings pitched in yesterday's game. 3.1 innings pitched on Saturday. 5 1/3 on Friday. 4 1/3 on Thursday.
What are you supposed to do?
In a 4-game series, they got a total of 13 and 2/3 innings pitched.
The bullpen's gassed.
Right. And that's the thing is especially when you look at Sunday's game, they needed 2/3 of they did the starter thing again with McGuff. Which,
the funny thing is the one guy they pulled in McGuff to face is the one guy who homers.
It's a dinger, right?
I mean, if you're at this point, like here's my take on this. If this team makes the playoffs, and I would I think that they're going to, and you decide that you have to do a game where you start with an opener, if that opener isn't Justin Martinez going 3 innings in a playoff game, I don't want it.
Did you guys forget Scott McGuff was on the team? Because I did.
No, he was in Reno.
We just remembered because he was pitching in Reno the other day, and Jacob had the game on, so we definitely remembered Scott McGuff because we were sharing some memories.
I screamed when I saw him on my TV.
When he started on Sunday, I can understand. That must have been for a lot of you Diamondbacks fans, like an all is lost moment. When you tuned in to Sunday's baseball game and saw Scott McGuff starting on the mound and giving up that first inning dinger to Fernando Tatis Jr.
I thought we were in for it.
I was like, let's just turn Chase Field into a parking lot now, or Skyrise, high-rise. You know, like we could get some good rent out of that space. That's prime realty, right? That's where I was at after the first inning, but the Diamondbacks definitely turned things around. But when you talk about using the bullpen and it being gassed.
They used it.
2 1/3 for Tommy Henry, 1 1/3 for Ginkle, 1 1/3 for Mantiply, 1 1/3 for Justin Martinez, 1 inning for Ryan Thompson, 1 inning for Bryce Jarvis.
Is Kevin Ginkle back?
Kevin Ginkle might be back. The entire bullpen might be back, but not with
that bullpen's pretty filthy. Damon and I talk about this probably once a day.
Yeah, it's there's a lot of components there that are very exciting and I think are becoming consistent weapons for Torrey. And I mean, I will say that there is a tantalizing possibility that maybe some of these guys that have been asked to step into a starting role like Slade or like Ryan Nelson might end up being dogs out of the bullpen for Torrey as well, especially Slade.
Yeah,
right?
That's the hope. That's the hope. I mean,
but I'm with Elise. Elise said earlier, I'm tired of seeing Ryan Nelson start, and no discredit to Ryan Nelson.
What's your option?
God, we don't have one.
Yeah.
We call it Christian Mena, give Mena an opportunity.
He's gotten shelled his last 2 starts.
I know.
That's the
exactly.
problem. That's my problem right now. He's finally kind of regressing back to. He's 21.
Yeah,
pitching in AAA. He's the youngest player in AAA right now.
Yeah, he's awesome.
I mean, it's
in all of AAA.
I'm pretty sure.
That's crazy.
Yeah, because I don't think Ethan Salas, who's in the Padres system, I think he's a top 15 prospect, but I don't think he's in like high A. I don't think he's. But anyways, I tweeted this out, and I think I also put this in the Discord. Good baseball teams expect to split a 4-game road series.
Sure.
That is the expectation.
Anything above that is icing on the cake.
Yeah,
right?
I am 100% okay at the end of 13 straight days taking 2 in San Diego, especially with the second one being Sunday.
Yeah, and to be honest, the way things were going in this series, I'm glad it was a 4-game series. I'm glad they had a chance to get that one more victory before leaving a bit demoralized after those 2. And like you said, Friday's loss, it's a little bit more blown out of proportion. In my mind, that's still kind of a 5-3 loss than a 10-3 loss. But what does my opinion matter?
Sure.
It doesn't show up in StatCast data. My opinion does not.
I'm not one to tell you whether your opinion matters or not.
I get it. Jesse tells me it definitely doesn't.
But I will say though,
Ernesto, by the way, is reminding you Jackson Holiday, AAA. Tony.
Okay, there we go.
So that would be the youngest. But still, Christian Mena in a very exclusive group there with the youngest in baseball. Still has a lot of time to develop, and I'm sure that's the reason why the Diamondbacks are going to hesitate to even go to him, right? But there might come a point.
I doubt we see him this year unless things go catastrophically wrong.
I mean, I was going to say there might be a point where they don't have a choice.
Faster.
He is back, by the way.
And he pitched fairly well. I mean, it's a rehab start in, was it in the ACL or some rookie league? 9 strikeouts in 4 innings.
He's still amazing.
He's confident. I guess taking a 110-mile-an-hour foul ball to the face in the dugout doesn't really scare you off the mound.
That, to me,
that's nails.
When you talk about how bad the season has gone for the Diamondbacks, that's that final destination moment for me where it's just like the baseball gods are coming for us, and they're even going after our youthful, exciting players, even when they're not even in a game. So that's where some of that frustration comes in with the way this season has gone. But no frustration on the Diamondbacks' part yesterday on Sunday. They had no problem with their offense. Diamondbacks went 8 for 16 with runners in scoring position in the series finale.
Is that good?
That's pretty damn good. That's a 500 batting average, Jacob. I'm not sure if you're familiar with the math. And it's also a lot of opportunities. I think that's the biggest thing there is the Diamondbacks not only created a lot of opportunities with runners in scoring position, but they were able to convert a lot of those. So again, not what we're probably going to see going forward, but another one of those feast days for the offense versus the famine days.
I need to see more of those, especially over the next 9 games.
It would be great because we have some easy opponents coming up. So Torrey did describe the game as a must-win. This is what Torrey had to say about winning on Sunday?
Yeah, I felt like it was in that category. You have those types of days and those types of games, and we want to start playing consistent baseball, and we know what our overall record is, and you want to keep pushing towards 500 and then eventually get over 500. So yeah, I felt like given what we had gone through day 1 to day 4, yeah, it was an important win for us.
I think it was important not only because of the fact that they're in the race with the Padres, their division rival, all of that stuff, but the Diamondbacks need some confidence right now. And all things considered, they just took, I guess, against 7 games against the Giants and the Padres. What, four out of those 7? Like, that's a pretty good day at the office. Or 5 out of the 7. Right? They won 3 out of 2, and then 2.
They went 4-3 against the Giants and the Padres.
Five. So, I mean, they did a good job there of going in there and doing what they needed to do against these teams, and building on the fact that these are division rivals that are so close to them right now in the wild card standings. The wild card standings right now are meaningless. I don't even want to talk about them. We keep posting them to Twitter, and I don't know why, but it's also because
there's still 100. You have more games left than you've played,
and there are like 20 teams tied for the final wild card spot now. Like, it's
we're going to be completely honest with this right now. This wild card race is probably going to go down to the last game, like it did last year.
Yeah, Torrey said that last year about it, and he was absolutely correct.
You just got to keep playing. You got to win, sure.
What's wild was those comments were made at the end of July, beginning of August. They could forecast, and I think Mike Hazen reiterated those same feelings, was that this is going to come down to the last game of the season, and holy shit, it actually did. And the D-backs lost it, and they needed someone else to lose in order for them to make the playoffs. And then next thing you know, we're in the World Series. So
I am not excited for making the wild card race graphic every single day for 4 months.
You're going to be so busy when we get there.
Here's where I'm at with this, right? They're a game out of, like, whatever it is, game and a half out of the 3rd wild card spot.
Right.
2 games out of the 2nd wild card spot because of how tight everything is. Mm-hmm. And the Braves, I don't know if anybody's noticed, they're in a tailspin right now. So you're probably only 5.5, 6.5 games out of that 1st wild card spot. Who's going to be the team that makes a run? Who's going to be the team that, and maybe it's the Braves, they take the 1st wild card spot, whatever it is, but that 2nd wild card spot is still up for grabs. Yeah. Go on a run. Be that team. Put yourself in the comfortable position of being in the 2nd wild card spot with a 3-4 game lead. I made the prediction that I think this team is going to be over 500 at the All-Star break. They'd have to go 18-13 from today to do that. 18-13.
What do you guys think about that? Is he insane? I don't know.
They wanted me to dye my hair. I said my coworkers make bad decisions. I'm not trying to.
Yeah, I do. And I'm the coworker he's talking about. But I mean, if they, they do have not only some winnable series here coming up, right? But they're a competitive baseball team, and they can actually still win against some of these, like the Phillies that they have after this stretch of bad teams. They have the Angels, they have the White Sox, the Nationals, and then Phillies and Dodgers, right?
Padres again.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot. There's a lot there ahead of them, but it doesn't mean, I don't know. We've seen this team step up. We've seen this team have big games this year. We've seen them beat the Dodgers. So
they
it's
were
not like
44-27 in a 71 game stretch last year. They were 17 games over 500 in a 71 game stretch.
I remember I had to dye my hair purple. There was also that thing where they did a catastrophic, historic drop from being that far above 500 to being below 500. Yeah. We brought up a lot of teams that don't exist anymore when we talked about that. But let's talk about 2 teams that do exist with the count presented by our friends at Desert Financial Credit Union. Padres really look like they smoked the Diamondbacks in this series, despite it being a split. They outscored the Diamondbacks 29-17, out-hit the Diamondbacks 45-37. Runners in scoring position, Diamondbacks did the Stone Cold Steve Austin thing there with a .316 batting average. Oh, hell yeah. Diamondbacks went 12 for 38. Padres 10 for 42 with a .238 batting average. Starting pitching, those are, I believe, reversed.
I might have reversed.
Yeah, I might have. Oh, no.
Are they right?
I did it.
No, they were. The relief pitching for the Padres was really good. It was at 2.94. Diamondbacks, not even close. Theirs was the 6.52. Yeah. Starting pitching ERA for the Diamondbacks, 9.22. 5.22 there for the Padres. Just atrocious, but the Diamondbacks also, like I said, they got a total of starting pitching of 13 2/3 innings in a 4-game series. That's what they got from starting pitching. Now, McGough is not really a starting pitcher, but considering he started the game, you have to give him that.
I mean, even if you throw away McGuff, Tommy Henry was bad.
Yeah, I mean, you get 3 1/3, you get 5 1/3, you get 4 1/3. You talk about Tommy Henry yesterday, you got 2 1/3 out of him. And yeah, like you said, he wasn't very good. So it's not like you got 2 1/3, 3 hits, 2 earned, 2 walks, and a strikeout from him. He gave up the 1 home run. So did McGuff. But the Diamondbacks offense was very good. Jake McCarthy, very good. Continues to be incredible for this team. He's absolutely back.
It was hard to watch last year. Because it was just one of those things where it was like all of a sudden you felt like, and he was first round pick. Jake McCarthy, they invested a lot in him. He's got a tall pedigree to live up to. Yeah. And he had that breakout year where I think he came back from getting sent down to Reno, hit like 300 for the rest of the year, finished the season hitting, 270, 280, whatever it was. And then watching it last year was probably one of the hardest things to watch because you felt like you had something in Jake McCarthy. Yeah. You felt like it was something you needed to try and almost find a way to get into the lineup every day.
You have these stretches where he really shows the potential that he could live up to and what he could be as a regular everyday player. And then all of a sudden he just struggles. And I mean, again, he's
back though.
That's nothing new from any of these guys outside of Ketel Marte on this team. We've said Ketel's back, we said Carroll's back. We've said Gurriel's back. We have those moments where we wish Gino was back, but he's not. We have Moreno. You just have these days where you hope to see these guys be back to where they're at, and that's kind of the streakiness right now, this team offensively. But Jake McCarthy, 3 for 4 yesterday, 2 RBI. He had that home run. Just a big day for him. And again, you just get it in spurts. Another guy that deserves credit, Kevin Newman, 3 for 4. Another day where he's just quietly,
little nervous for what's going to happen tomorrow.
There are going to be some questions answered here very soon. And
a little nervous for what we're about to see tomorrow.
I
have a feeling I know where we're headed.
Mm-hmm. What do you think?
I think as of tomorrow, I honestly think Blaze Alexander might be in Reno.
Yeah. I know that pains you to say it, but I think we've all kind of thought that was the direction it's going.
The only other thing is,
I don't even know.
I think it's Blaze or Paven. Because I think Jake, having Jock, Jake, and Paven on the bench, that is a plethora. But to me, one of those guys is going down when Alec comes back.
It can't be Jake.
And Jock is whatever. But it can't be Jake. So
Jake's hitting 282 with a 769 OPS right now. I am not sending Jake McCarthy
It's hard
anywhere.
to say. And I know there are reports out there that Eugenio Suarez is not the one getting affected by this.
Oh, yeah. That doesn't surprise me at all. You know what I mean? Gino's a veteran. They know what they have in Gino. They know what they have in defensively. But we do have some interesting Mailbag Monday questions in regards to that we'll get here shortly. Jake was the man yesterday, so he would have gotten our single game King Snake. But for the series, we're giving it to the one and only Corbin Carroll because, like you said, he's back. The kid's back. This is actually, honestly, lately, this is more of what I would expect to see out of Corbin Carroll. Last year might have been an outlier with his power and some of his numbers and stuff, but when you tell me
this year's the outlier,
you think so? Well, and I hope so, right?
Sure.
I'm just saying though, in general, like if Corbin Carroll was less of a power guy and more about getting on base the way he did in this series, again, we saw Corbin Carroll do what Corbin Carroll does. He walked, he stole bases, he found a way to get on base, he found a way to score runs, and he hit 375 in a 4-game series. So I see
what you're saying. He can be useful without the power numbers. Is
exactly.
What you're trying to say.
And honestly, before last year, this is probably more of what we thought we would get out of him as a good player. Like a high batting average, a lot of stolen bases, a lot of runs scored, but maybe not so much power, maybe not so many RBI because he's leading off and
he's
things
getting
like
closer,
that, right? But
he's getting closer.
It does feel like he's getting closer.
I don't think that
he's got a 204 batting average.
Who hits 25 bombs as a rookie at 170 pounds. That's not a fluke. The guy has too much natural power in his.
The ball's
in his
a little
swing.
deader this year.
Yeah, but
there's signs that the ball is a little more dead this year than last year. But
yeah, offensively across the board in baseball. I also think that, again, there are certain expectations, right? And there weren't really that big of expectations. I felt like Corbin last year had a goal, and his goal was to be the best rookie so that he could help his team get that additional draft pick. I don't think it was for the personal achievement. I don't think it was for the accolade.
He's a team guy.
He had a goal that he could get to, and that could quantifiably make the team better because it gives them an extra draft pick. And he had that. I think this year is more about living up to, the year he had last year and living up to his own kind of greatness that he has set. And that's hard to live up to sometimes, especially in your sophomore season, especially when you had such a good rookie campaign. So I think
Jose Altuve, I believe, has proved that you don't have to be a big individual to hit homers.
That's true. Yeah.
To me.
I think that's the thing. It's about hitting the ball.
Corbin has such surprising power to all parts of the field. Right? Like, it's not like all of his homers were, absolutely pulled, 30 rows deep. Those guys that they're like, well, we've got power, and it's like all their power is when they just lean on one and it turns all the way. It just hooks within the foul pole or whatever it is, but it's like 30 rows deep.
And they have to hit it.
Corbin can hit one 30 rows deep in the left field bleachers.
Yeah.
I mean, he is just a strong kid, and he's got a fast bat.
Well, it would be great to see him get that power back, and I think a lot of it is more about, maybe those adjustments he made, either not being fully fleshed out yet, or maybe just flat out being the wrong adjustments. But, we'll see. I think the adjustments were more about the success or the lack of success he had last year. I know it's easy to talk about how good he was last year, but he also had a very long stretch where he wasn't very good between, that shoulder injury and the playoffs. So there's a lot there that Corbin Carroll is still doing to develop his swing and get himself to be a better baseball player, honestly. And so
he's
it feels like he's getting back. He's at 204.
Yeah, I've said this before. He reminds me a lot of Paul Goldschmidt. He's not the most talkative individual that you're going to find.
True.
He spends a lot of time thinking.
He spent a lot.
Which can be a detriment in this game.
His interviews last year were still one of the most fascinating things ever to me, because, to be honest, some people might have taken it as weird, or some people might have taken his thoughtfulness as like off-putting. I thought it was incredible, because I've never in my entire lifetime,
he's brilliant baseball mind.
I've never seen a human being be asked a question and then say, hold on, let me think about that. And then sit there and think about that. And then take like 30 seconds to gather your data in your mind and make sure you have your thoughts all together.
I've seen Damon do that
and then
before.
Answer it. Well, Damon's different. Damon's built differently.
Damon, I've seen you think about something. Like, I've
Damon
asked you
will
a
actively say, come back to me on that, so that he has a chance to make his argument.
I think that's a really good trait, because I think people sometimes just like to spout something off, and it's not necessarily like...
I know that, like, I'm...
Guilty?
I'm like Mr. Emotional, and I wear that on my sleeve. I love it. But like at the same time, I do feel like I do try to take in nuance and like actual other people's opinions into my takes. Like I try to be.
It's a good question when Damon. It's the same thing. It was the same thing with Sean. It's a great question when you get them to sit there for a second and be like, wait, what do I want to say to this?
You see a little twinkle in their eye that they're excited and they're going to actually think about it, and that's what's fun, especially when you get to argue with Damon. That's a whole other thing. But
like Totri this morning saying that 4.8 rebounds is 4 rebounds per game instead of 5.
How about Bo Brock saying that Diana Taurasi should step aside to let Caitlin Clark have her spot on the USA basketball
You just got the dog scent on Bo Brock right now.
Bo comes out of the other studio right now.
It's the most insane take I've ever heard. But anyway, we thank you guys for being here in the PHNX Sports YouTube channel. Of course, you guys are the best. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, do so now. Sign up for notifications. That way you don't miss whenever our wonderful shows on this network go live. Of course, drop us a like. Corbin loves when you leave a like. If you're listening on the audio podcasting side, we love our listeners as well. Please be sure you're subscribed on your favorite audio podcasting app. Leave us a review. We always appreciate that. And those 5-star reviews help us out a ton. Jacob, I am so excited because I am being told that we now have partnered together with Mint Mobile, which means I am one step closer to becoming best friends with Ryan Reynolds.
That's incredible news.
It's incredible news, and I bet you're getting a great reception. You can say bye-bye to whatever overpriced.
Actually,
is it?
I'm friends with him before you.
Tell him I love him.
No, Eric,
tell him I can't wait to see Deadpool.
You know what
3.
I'm excited about?
What's that?
Wrexham.
Oh,
How about that? You ever thought about that combo?
This is a Wrexham podcast now too, just like the Phoenix Rising one is. Throw him the X. Let's go.
A little bit of Mint Mobile times Wrexham.
Oh man, we're gonna have a great time.
This
Me, Ryan, Rob, Damon, Jacob, the
Owen,
boys. Owen's coming. We're going.
This is how we snag Hulu.
Yeah, this is exactly. We're just one step away from that. But right now, Mint Mobile is here to rescue us all with premium wireless plans starting at just $15 a month. That's it. Do you know how much money I spend on my mobile plan? That's gone now.
I spend a lot, Derek.
I know. I have to pay for a lot of people's cellular service. So
I spend
right
just
now,
50, but
yeah,
you know.
I'm done. I'm done because some of those prices are just jaw dropping when you see it in comparison to what Mint Mobile has to offer. Ditched overpriced wireless with Mint Mobile's limited time deal and get 3 months of premium wireless service for just $15 a month. To get this new customer offer and your new 3-month unlimited wireless plan for just $15 a month, go to mintmobile.com/Diamondbacks. That's mintmobile.com/Diamondbacks. Cut your wireless bill to $15 a month at mintmobile.com/Diamondbacks. It's beautiful.
And 15 is just an unbeatable price.
I know. Here's the terms. $45 upfront payment required, equivalent to that $15 a month. New customers on first 3-month plan only. Speed slower above 40 gigabytes on unlimited plan. Additional taxes, fees, and restrictions apply. See Mint Mobile for details. So go out there and get yourself some quality mobile service that doesn't cost you anywhere near what you are paying right now. Also, speaking of great partners and great deals, get down on BetMGM Sportsbook if you haven't already. Baseball fans, now is the time. Now is our time. It's our season. It's our summer. And we can get down on the BetMGM Sportsbook app and make those baseball games more fun. Download the app right now on iOS or Android and sign up using our bonus code there, PHNX. When you do and deposit at least $10 into your newly created account, place your first wager and receive up to $1,500 back in bonus bets if the bet loses. If the bet does lose, your bonus bets will be available once your initial wager is settled. Right now, get down on the Grand Slam jackpot promotion. MLB, right? Want to bet on a guy to hit a home run? That's great. You can win some money doing that if he hits a home run. But if he hits a grand slam and it's on the weekend, you can win yourself up to $50,000 daily. Every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, place a $10 wager or more on any player to hit a home run every weekend. And if that player hits a grand slam, they can win $50,000 daily or a share of that price with every other winning bettor. So get down right now, sign up for that BetMGM mobile app, use our bonus code of PHNX, place your first sportsbook wager through the Sportsbook mobile app for at least $10. You'll receive up to $1,500 in bonus bets if the bet loses. Check out the show notes for full details, and now listen to our baby boy Shane talk about the disclaimer.
Bonus bets expire in 7 days. One new customer offer only. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Available in the U.S. Call 877-8-HOPE-NY, 467-369 New York. Call 1-800-327-5050 Massachusetts. 21 plus only. Please gamble responsibly. Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP Arizona. 1-800-BETS-OFF Iowa. 1-800-981-0023 Puerto Rico. First bet offer for new customers only. Subject to eligibility requirements. Bonus bets are non-withdrawable. In partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel. See BetMGM.com for terms. U.S. promotional offers not available in New York, Nevada, North Carolina, Ontario, or Puerto Rico.
Puerto Rico.
Jesse, you don't have to come back.
Corbin goes yard this week.
Oh, yeah?
By the way.
Wow. Jacob's got a lot of hot takes, a lot of hot predictions.
I get one show every 3 months.
Gotta get him in.
Do it. Yeah.
Jacob _Franklin4, by the way, if you want to go.
On paper, I respect like a good hot take like that. Like it's obviously less likely to happen than more.
Sure.
But let's not pretend like Jacob doesn't walk around the office, look us in the eyes constantly and
just
go, Corbin's hitting a home run this week.
I have not said this one in a long time.
Just blatantly lies to us with no repercussions. He doesn't have
a home run a day.
Yeah.
No, I don't.
Yeah, I have to come on this show and listen to
I have
this
not given
chat.
you a home run in weeks, Damon.
Weeks. I don't know.
Because you were hitting at such an abysmal
It
clip.
was abysmal. I'm not. The magic's not there this year.
Yeah, I get it.
This team doesn't hit homers though.
They really don't.
They really don't.
Not.
That's what you thought Gino was going to be.
When they do hit home runs,
Gabby's not hitting homers. Corbin's not hitting homers. It's Lourdes Cattell and Walker.
Barry Bloom said to Torrey, "Your team doesn't win when you don't hit home runs." And there's probably at least 3 wins maybe in there where they won without home runs, but the rest of them all had at least one home run.
I mean, I guess they had one yesterday. Jake had one, right?
Jake had one yesterday.
Yeah.
Yep.
But they did lose on Friday and they hit back-to-back homers.
Oh, it's not it's not a direct correlation. It's more like if you win, there was a home run hit in the game, more than if you hit a home run, it means you're going to win, right? It's a little different correlation, but this is what we're here for. We're here to figure everything out for you guys and explain it in this, understanding way. We're also here to remind you that every year on this podcast is our year. Every month on this podcast, Black History Month. Every month on this podcast is Women's History Month. And of course, every single month on this podcast is Black Women's History Month. Every single week is Shark Week. Every single day, Passover, even though Jesse's not here. And of course, every single Monday, we go to the mailbag. Damon, let's go!
My mailbox, always something interesting in my mailbox. I try to get to everything in my mailbox, and then once in a while there's a letter that makes me go wow, wow. My mailbox.
Shout out to Mega Ran, by the way, on tour in Europe with Wheatus.
Where's he at right
now? I think he's in the Netherlands right now. Actually, fun story about that. Espo sent me a funny video on TikTok that eventually, essentially, seriously, led to a woman getting booked for a Wheatus show. So Espo's to thank for that. He doesn't understand that his actions have ripple effects across the entire planet. But Jacob, do you want to apologize?
Yeah, I was just saying, before we get started, I would like to, Damon, if I can get the solo cam right here.
Yeah, let's get it to let's get on a tight show.
I'd just like to just a formal apology to my man Craig on Twitter. He asked a very legitimate question about Corbin Carroll's bat path. However, I apologize to you. I made a joke about your tweet because you had accidentally had a typo that said bath path. And I thought it was funny to say that I couldn't find bath path data. We could find bat path data. So even though the question isn't there anymore, I will answer your question right now. Corbin Carroll has the flattest swing in Major League Baseball this year.
Correct. Still.
Per swing graphs, Carroll's vertical bat angle was 20.6 degrees in March and April, and it has been 21.5 degrees in May. It is a slight improvement. However, it has only moved his season bat path average to 21.1 degrees, which is still the flattest swing in Major League Baseball. That's where we're at. But it's better.
Do you feel good about yourself making fun of our listeners and their questions?
I always thought Corbin was more of a shower guy.
See, that's what's funny is you instinctually feel that way, right? Because obviously you know Corbin, you know he's a busy man, right? He's just going to get in, get out, right? Shower. He might not even take the time to do all of the moisturizing, the stuff some
he's
of us other do, right?
He moves quick.
But see, here's what I think. I think he's a
He's
bath
got to spend
guy.
more time in the cage.
I think he's a bath guy, though. You know why? Because if you lay in a bath, then you can read scouting reports on opposing pitchers while you sit there.
Do you
right?
think he practices his swing in the bath?
Do you think that he laminates his folder data so that he can get it wet? And then that definitely.
Probably.
All right, that's
Probably.
All I know is Jacob's a bully. That's all I know.
Absolute bully.
I'm
I mean,
genuine.
this is nothing new. He
For
bullies
those of
us
you who
every
don't
single
know me,
day.
I'm genuinely one of the meanest people you'll ever meet.
It's awful. It's awful. All right, what else we got? We got some questions. Damon,
We
get us
do
some
have questions.
Real
So
questions.
We'll start it off with Travis Moore back in the leadoff spot here on Mailbag Monday. And he's the GOAT of the leadoff spot. But he says, how close do you guys think the front office is to actually finding a solution to third base for this year beyond Suarez? Are Newman or Alexander legitimate options? Is there someone possibly on the trade block they can get? What would they actually do with Suarez if they went that route?
That's a great question.
It's a great 5 questions, actually.
But it's a lot of questions. There's a lot there.
But it can be summarized as one question. Are they close to finding a third baseman?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I don't think that the Diamondbacks are ready to give up on Gino yet. I think that it's understandable. I know that there is a rumor we're going to address here with the next question about Gino possibly being on the trade block. And it's understandable. It's just a lack of value, right? Really what it comes down to it is if they part ways with Gino in any way, it's going to cost them the money they owe them and owe him. So it's not like he's a detriment to the team. It's not like there was a point where Blaze Alexander's defense arguably cost the Diamondbacks a few games. They were close games. He made some plays that resulted in runs essentially being scored after that. And it happened. It's not like it was a lot of games. It's a handful. But still, there's some games where you could say that Blaze's defense.
That Braves series was hard to watch.
It directly affected the outcome of that Braves series, right? However, it's like Gino, at times he's not contributing offensively, but defensively on the field, he's still just such a quality player that I have a hard time believing that they're necessarily looking for a replacement for him.
Can you genuinely answer? And Blaze has been very, very good. I would love Blaze to stick as the starting third baseman. Don't get me wrong on this, but at their peaks, at what you expect them to do, is this team go further with Gino playing his best ball, or does this team go further with Blaze playing his best ball?
Honestly, I think from the perspective of Blaze, I don't know if we've seen Blaze play his best ball, right? We've seen Gino at least at one point in his career play his best ball. We don't know if he's going to get back to that level. But what you're saying is like when Gino's mashing.
The pop and the defense.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sorry, but yes, there's a big difference there. Not to mention the fact that this is still a very young
He drives
team.
in runs. He's the guy that you honestly probably expected to hit 5th in your lineup.
Right. And it's not working out, right? But it doesn't mean that he still doesn't bring other intangibles. Not only does his defense, but like I said, this team right now has Jock Peterson for a veteran, who honestly has a ton of experience and it is incredible personality. But I just don't know how approachable Jock is. I don't know how much, like when I look last year, at Longo, right? Longo looked to me, sounded to me. I saw it physically with my own two eyes like a coach. He was out there. He was sharing information with younger players. He was actively engaged with them. He was helping them out. I don't know if Jock's that guy, but I do think Jock is still a veteran presence that guys go to.
He's been around.
It's just very helpful to have those guys, even if they're not hitting 250, even if they're not providing you with a ton of offense. It's still helpful to have those guys just from that capacity, because players tend to listen to other players a little bit more than they're going to listen to coaches. Yeah. So when they have that advice to offer, I feel like Gino has a ton of time playing professional baseball at a major league level. I think there's a lot for him to offer there, and I think that that's one thing that gives him an advantage, even if he's not playing as good as Blaze. But I do think that his defense at third base is going to be better than Blaze.
Blaze could definitely be the answer.
Or
I mean, long term. I mean, because part of this question is like long term, where are they going with the third base position? Blaze could definitely be the answer. But for this season specifically, I believe that you will only be at your best if Gino returns to, you can hit 220, whatever it is. Hit homers, drive in runs.
Go 1 for 4 in games and hit
homers, drive in
double.
runs. That's what we got you.
Hit
homers,
extra base hits, drive in runs. Yeah, I agree.
Jordan Lawler might have something to say about this when all said and done too. He's going to start his rehab assignment in Reno.
There's a couple I have two fighting ideas here. Is that I don't feel like the Diamondbacks are desperate to replace Gino, and I don't think that they are desperate to deal with the future right now as much as they are just trying to get things right at a major league club with these guys that they brought on. Like, they spent a lot of money on these guys. You want to see them perform. You want to see them help the team out. However, I just don't know if they are that quick as these rumors and such are to move on.
They won't pull the trigger.
Yeah. I mean, they just keep guys for, honestly, like we saw it last year, right? But we're still basing it on last year. We're still basing it on the fact that they did have a quick trigger with Madison Bumgarner. We saw them give Nick Ahmed some options, and despite the fact he was the longest tenured Diamondback, they parted ways with him. They parted ways with Carson Kelly, who arguably has been pretty goddamn good for the Tigers. So, I mean, like, there's been some things there that they've done that, of course, you're going to always think about the ones that, that it improved the team, like Bumgarner, but you just never know, if you're taking that step too far just because a guy is in the middle of, a slump right now. I would say the
Bumgarner and the Kelly ones are different for me. I mean, Bumgarner, like, you have options, right? Like, Bumgarner goes, you still have Zach, Merrill, whatever. The rotation was there, and you had Fott knocking on the door. The Carson Kelly one is interesting because you legitimately had a guy who was hitting 170 that was taking at bats away from quite possibly one of the best young catchers in the game. So you're kind of pigeonholed there. Like, Gabby's making them, like, Gabby forces you to make that move last year. Yeah. It's an unfortunate circumstance in baseball sometimes.
All right. I don't know if we answered the question, but I think as far as the distant future goes, I think the Diamondbacks have options in Blaze and Jordan. I think that they aren't really concerned with that right now. It's just a matter of trying to figure out what they're going to do at third base. And honestly, it's a matter of, again, when Perdomo and when Alec Thomas comes back, it's a matter of making the right call on who they send down, because they're going to need people. They're going to need guys to contribute.
They got decisions.
And it's going to feel like the thing that sucks is no matter who you send down, they're going to go rake in fucking Reno and hit 400. And it's going to feel like,
but let me tell you,
like the wrong decision, regardless of which way you go.
The first time Geraldo Perdomo draws a walk after being down 0-2 in the 9-hole, Damon better expect the text no matter the time of night. Or I just say we are so back.
Fire me up.
It's funny you think I'll have my phone on me, because I'm not going to have any clothes on running down the street. We're going streaking.
Oh, man.
That's going to feel like a championship.
I still can't believe his answer about that. When he was like, what do you miss most about baseball? Being down 0-2
and drawing a walk.
Drawing the count full. Oh, my God.
He didn't hit very well in Reno, but man, did he draw his walks. He drew like 5 in 3 games.
Yeah.
That's what he does. That's what he does.
That's why I said we can't count on these guys to be the savior of the offense, but who knows the impact that they could have on the team. So let's see what else we got. What other question we got there, Damon?
Next question comes from Serpientes Magic on Twitter and says, with McCarthy and Suarez rumors are being heard, do you think they going to sell players if things didn't go well by the trade deadline? If they do, isn't it feel like give up too early right after spent that amount of money to improve the team? I want all 3 of your opinions. For the audio listeners, I just want to say this is not my fault. I read it word for word.
He did. That's not Damon's fault on that one. But Serpientus Magic.
And I'm the jerk, Damon.
I don't.
Dude, it sounded incoherent right
Yeah,
there.
he was trying. And sometimes we don't. Sometimes we tweet when we're drunk. It's fine.
This team will not be sellers unless they lose like.
Oh my God!
Like they have to go 18-13 to finish 49-48 at the All-Star break.
They would have to be.
They'd have to go like
so bad.
4-20. So like it's gonna. I mean, you'd have to be 15 games out of the wild card, and that's just not gonna happen.
And I just don't know if Rake McCarthy is still part of those rumors. Like it felt easier to say that, but the closer we get to the trade deadline, the more McCarthy. I mean, you don't want to trade someone of that value, right? I mean, right now the biggest problem with Major League Baseball is that players aren't going to be able to, or teams aren't going to be able to trade for players that are on the Major League roster because there are going to be so many teams that are still in it by the trade deadline, especially if the wild card race looks like it does right now.
Yeah, and if I hate to break this to people, if they were going to sell, it's not going to be Gino because you're paying to send him away right now.
Right.
You're gonna pay that contract. It's not gonna be Jake because he's 26, 27 years old and kind of fits into that. Like, even if you were to sell, you could probably keep Jake for a couple years.
Who would it be then if it wasn't Gino?
I hate to break. It's gonna be Paul Sewald. It's gonna be Christian Walker.
Yeah.
It's gonna be Zach Gallen for people who don't want to say that.
That's crazy.
It's gonna be. I mean, those are the guys that you sell.
No, you guys are wrong about that.
No. Their contracts are all up after this year.
They're not trading
Zach Gallen has one more year.
Yeah, correct.
But Christian Walker's contract's up after this year. Paul Sewald's contract's up after this year.
Jordan Montgomery actually is someone I could see being on the
he would be a
block.
piece of the selling for sure.
I'm going to say somebody crazy. I'm going to say that probably value never been higher on Blaze.
But if you're trying to fetch a lot, Zach Gallen's going to get you the most.
Yeah.
Because you still have one more year of Zach if you trade for him.
I'm just
if you
saying.
truly want to be sellers.
It sickens me to even say this.
Jock,
I'm not even going to.
That's a great pull too.
Jock, yeah, Jock is a great.
You get a lot for Jock.
Yeah, but the guys that you're not going to get a lot for are the guys right now that aren't playing well. Right? You're not going to trade Jordan Montgomery and get anything for him. You're not going to trade. You're not going to trade Gino right now.
They're not going to be sellers. But let me tell you, if they were sellers, they would probably get the biggest haul of any team in baseball.
They really could. They really absolutely could.
Yeah.
Because not only do they have the expiring contracts that if they were willing to just cash in on this year, they could really make the future of this team bright. And again, that's a positive way to look at it, right? We already know it's an uphill battle based on the historical results of teams getting back to the World Series, right? 3 National League teams in 50 years have repeated in making it back to the World Series. So
it's not easy.
It's not easy. And I'm not writing it off, but I'm just saying if there's a point where they're down by over 10 games, if they're more than 10 games back at the trade deadline,
they'll sell.
It's a hard
climb.
It's a hard climb to get back into.
No, if there's any team that's positioned to do it, they are one of them.
Right, because they're going to get back basically an entire fucking starting rotation all at once. You know,
yeah, and mix that with the bullpen that looks like it might be one of the best bullpens in baseball right now. And who knows, you could rip off 10, 11 straight games.
You know what I can't wait for them to do that and then all of a sudden them become a national story and have the question asked like, where's this Diamondbacks team been all year? On the injured list is where they've been. Yeah. So
I honestly, I don't see any world where Christian Walker gets traded.
I don't see it either, but if you're going to sell, that's a piece.
There's no world where Zach Gallen gets traded. None. He's leaving as a free agent.
He just doesn't want to listen.
No, they're not. They're not trading him. I mean, they're not trading him. And
trust me.
I think Gino and Jordan Montgomery make the most sense from a trade perspective. And then I think if things are really, really bad, I could see them getting rid of Sewald. But other than that, I don't really think that anybody else is a realistic trade.
Would it change your mind if I told you Walker was 34?
No, because he's like
that would just mean that you're an ageist. Is all that means.
I mean,
in sports, you kind of got to be.
He had a late start though. And he doesn't look to really be slowing down.
He started about 28 because Paul.
He's fueled by bourbon. The man
and Chris Davis.
Timeless. Yeah. All right. What else we got, Damon?
Next question comes from Kevin Lundberg, and he says, with the sample size we've seen now, do we think there is still a shot that Nelson and Henry are big league caliber starters long term, or do you guys think that they should consider them as bullpen pieces once our main starters come back from injury?
It's a great question. I don't know. I think that there is a point where even as a pitcher, you have to start realizing your value might be more in coming out of the bullpen than starting, right? But the Diamondbacks can't they can't revert all of these guys to bullpen arms because they still need guys stretched out for depth should another injury occur before the end of the season. Now, with the injuries the Diamondbacks pitchers have gone through, that is a possibility. Like, there is a strong likelihood that one of these guys might re-aggravate one of the injuries even after they come back. So the Diamondbacks are going to still need to keep guys like Tommy Henry and Ryan Nelson stretched out and available should that time come. So I wouldn't be surprised to see them not necessarily do that, just convert everybody. You have Slade, you have Tommy, you have Ryan. Right now, I think, honestly, based on performance and results, Slade makes the most choice coming out of the bullpen.
Because those two are on the outside looking in right now.
Yeah, and that man shoves, really, but he's really, at least Ryan Nelson has gone out there at times and been a regular starter for this team. He just gave them, before this last start, that wasn't good. Right, he gave him 7 2/3 innings last time, which was a career high, right? So there's things about Ryan Nelson I find to be very encouraging, and I think he still is a good starting pitcher. He relies on his fastball entirely too much, and to be honest, his fastball is good, not great, but not great enough for it to be his one pitch at a major league level. He just needs to have, he needs to perfect his secondary pitches.
Look, it's possible Justin Martinez did that. He had a fastball. They started him. He tried to start when they first signed him. Yeah. He was a starter. He was not good.
Yeah.
And then he came up last year. Everybody watched it. All he did was throw 102. Yeah. And he couldn't locate it in the zone. So they said, go work on some pitches. And so he comes back, and now he's got a fastball, a sinker, a nasty. The split finger's always been there, but he could never get to the split finger. When you're trying to throw strikes and you're struggling to throw strikes, you're probably just throwing a boatload of fastballs. And that's what he was trying to do. But big league hitters can catch up to 102. Now Justin Martinez is one of the best pitchers in the game because he's got 4 legitimate weapons. Ryan Nelson can do that.
Yeah.
It just, you got to actually go solidify those pitches, make them work at the lower levels.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't really think Tommy Henry has anything in the bullpen, so I'm sending him down to Reno and keeping his arm stretched out.
Yeah.
The thing about I feel
you need a 6th starter.
Ryan Nelson and Slade is a combo for me because I think Slade's just been better than Ryan Nelson. So would you make the argument that with the injury problems that we've had in our rotation this year, wouldn't you want to keep Slade stretched out so that if there's another injury, he can come up and pitch?
But what is it about Slade that makes him so good one time through?
The fact that he throws 98, and then by the 4th or 5th inning, he's throwing 93.
He's not a perfect pitcher, and he's not a finished product, but he's much better than Ryan Nelson.
But he said it, though. You yourself as a starting pitcher can't have your velocity drop off from the 1st inning to the 4th inning and then still be effective. And to be honest, maybe that's a stamina issue. Maybe that's something, right? Because a lot of pitchers can go out there, like what we talked about, Justin Martinez, still throwing 99 miles per hour on his last pitch of the day, right? So it's like that guy.
That was probably a sinker because he probably could have
a goddamn sinker. You're absolutely right.
102 on his last pitch of the day.
You're absolutely right about that, right? So
just for me, though, it's just Slade. We have such a better chance if Slade's starting that game of winning that game than if Ryan Nelson is starting the game, in my opinion, just from watching this team. I feel like Slade keeps us in games even when he has a rough 1 inning.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And maybe there's a chance that Slade's able to build that stamina and his stuff works for longer, but we don't need that right now. It just, when everybody comes back, you're going to have Zach, Merrill, Erod, Montgomery's hopefully going to figure this out, and Fott.
I just don't trust him to stay healthy, man.
No, that's
maybe they don't. Yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah, that's completely fair.
That's fair. That's why. That's the point, though, is going back to the question, right? I think Ryan Nelson and Tommy Henry both need to stay stretched out, right? I just don't know really in the grand scheme of things if, when you talk about Slade, for instance, if that's something that Slade's going to get add to his game, essentially. Is Slade going to be able to become a pitcher that gives you 6 innings
Damon,
regularly?
Let me ask you this question. If this team makes a playoff run, who would you rather have in the bullpen, Ryan or Slade?
Easily, 100%. No doubt in my mind. I'm saying that, I would want to keep Slade stretched out in case something happened to Erod again down the stretch when he comes back, or, we might need that arm. And I'm telling you, I'd rather Slade was the starter than Ryan Nelson if that was to happen again, by a long shot.
Zach makes the best point. He said Slade has a cooler name, case closed.
Also, Elise agrees with me, which means I'm right.
No, don't. God damn it. Don't do that, Elise. Don't do that.
Mike Hazen, get out of the chat.
Yeah, come on. Anyway, what else we got, Damon?
We've been talking for a while, so I'm kind of forgetting. I think this is the question.
Yeah, that's it.
But Karen McCarthy saying, what are your expectations for the Los Angeles Angels and Chicago White Sox series this week? I feel like it's unreasonable to ever expect more than 2-1 series win, But is that really enough when the opponents aren't great and we need all the wins we can get? That's a great point.
Baseline's 4-2. It's as simple as that.
That's what he's saying,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, is the idea there of going 4-2 enough? And it's like, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
You win every series, you're a playoff team.
Wow.
Hot
That's
take.
excellent.
Hot take.
That's an excellent take.
That's what I'm saying. Like, that's enough.
If you score more runs than the other team, you're going to win ball games.
That's what I'm saying. It's enough for me if they win those series.
And if your pitching doesn't give up any runs, you're going to win ball games.
Derek, did you know if you never lose, you win?
I've heard that. I've heard if you don't lose.
That's why we bring Jacob on.
Yeah, I mean, that's the quality
For
kind
analysis
of
like
analysis. That. Yeah. Good,
Gerald, do you believe these
good
people?
stuff. Good stuff. Yeah, Gerald's going to
They give me one show every 2 months, and they're like, you're an idiot.
Here's some great analysis for the Suns. If they can score more points in the fourth quarter than their opponents, they're going to win more ball games. All right. But no, yes. I mean, going back, what was the question again? Because this
it was like
going 4-2.
Yes, 2-1 enough.
That's enough.
I mean, I don't know. Do you ever expect to sweep an opponent?
Yes.
Do you ever expect to? Yes, you
It's
do?
baseball. No, I don't go into the
I think
expectation of
there were times last year when this team was rolling where I was like, we're going to sweep. We're going to sweep the Rockies' ass.
Right now, I don't expect this team to sweep
when
anybody.
they go up 2-0, it feels like a huge disappointment when they lose that final game of the series, right?
Them sweeping against the Angels is going to really be predicated on tomorrow's performance because it's a bullpen game for the Angels. So if you can force them to burn a whole bunch of bullpen arms, you put them at a disadvantage for the next 2 games. But it's baseball. Anybody can win on any given day.
Right. And what Benjamin says here, anything lower than 4-2 is unacceptable, but this team tends to play down in their competition. Yes. Yes, that's the truth. That's why this stretch terrifies me. And it's not just those games, right? They had the Nationals after that. And I know the Nationals aren't down in that same category as the White Sox and the Angels, but they still are a team that the Diamondbacks at this point should be able to take a series again. So, I mean, right now the expectation is what, a 6-3 stretch over the next 9 games.
Yeah, because that Nats series, even though it's on the road, that's a series you should expect to win as well.
And then we'll see from there. All right, that's what we're going to see. And someone said it's a trap series, so we'll probably see the opposite. Let's see what happens. What else you got, Damon?
Next question comes from Serpiente Cat.
Serpiente Cat.
Yeah, we'll go with that. He says, "Why is Brandon Pfaadt particularly unlucky this year?"
Home runs.
She.
Home runs.
It's always been his kryptonite.
Yeah, I mean, in his
he's gotten beat by a lot of soft contact at times too. It feels like a lot of dings and dunks kind of fall in, and then a 3-run homer.
Yeah, he'll give up a walk.
Yeah,
he'll give up a ding, and I don't know if there's a correlation between that. We've talked about Big Game Brandon. We've talked about the fact that this man had ice, water in his veins last year in the playoffs, right? I mean, it was incredible. But he was also protected by Torey Lovullo, right? Torey wouldn't let him see the lineup a third time through. And now this year he's giving him depth. He's giving him quality starts. But what he is allowing is a lot of home runs. In 19 of his starts this year, he has allowed 6 multi-home run games. And really that seems to be the big thing is that we see some of the other Diamondbacks pitchers get themselves into trouble. We see them have a big inning, and it tends to just, be like a Merrill Kelly performance. A big inning, I guess, is like 3 runs. But then he tightens it down and is able to give the Diamondbacks 6 strong innings, 7 strong innings. Brandon Pfaadt has shown that quality. He's shown that ability to bounce back from that
7 or 8 innings.
He can do 7 or 8. But what really is the problem is that bad inning for Brandon is a bad inning. I mean, this last start was definitely bad. But for the most part, he's allowed home runs with runners on base, and he's just unfortunately giving up a lot of runs in those bad innings.
Yeah, as I say, homers don't kill you necessarily. It's homers that they follow, a single here, a double there. It's the big home runs. You give up a solo home run, cool, you're living, whatever it is. Back-to-back home runs, as long as they're both solo, whatever. But it's those innings where it's like, oh crap, I've given up 1 run. There's 2 runners on base right now. There's 2 outs and I gave up a home run. That seems to kind of be where we're at right now with him.
Yeah.
And it's something that he can figure out, but it's just, you got to make the big pitch when it matters.
Yeah. All right. Well, I do thank you guys again for being here in the PHNX Sports YouTube channel. Big shout out to our friends at Desert Financial Credit Union for sponsoring the count, of course. And of course, I have Desert Financial Credit Union to thank for starting me on my home ownership journey. Again, I've seen some of these rent prices out there, and my God, am I glad that I got a house. So hopefully Desert Financial can help you as well. For more than 84 years, they have been Arizona's largest, most trusted local credit union, and they are dedicated to creating exceptional experiences for their customers and for the community that they serve. Of course, you can look to Desert Financial for checking and savings accounts, mortgages, loans, credit cards, investment options, and so much more. When you open a free checking account online, you can get $200 in bonuses. Get started by visiting desertfinancial.com/200. I have been a member for a very, very long time. I don't even remember how long I've been a member for. I think it was my very first checking account when I was like 16 years old. So you can do the math.
How much money did you have when you were 16? How much did you keep in this checking account?
Usually it was about $200, if I'm not lying. So, I mean,
that's more than I had.
That was a good week. It was a good week when I had $200 in the...
$200 in the 1800s must have been quite a bit.
Oh. There's his ageist remarks again coming out.
Owned.
It's a good one, wasn't it, Damon?
Oh, that
I like
one
that
hurt.
one. That was good.
That one made
It's usually
me
doing the shots at Derek.
Sick burns like that. Yeah, well, I'm still going to outlive all of you. Don't forget
you get
that.
for making me feel like an idiot.
And a bully. Still, he's still a bully. But I would still go to a sporting event with this man, regardless of how much he likes to bully me.
I'm fun.
You are fun. And another fun thing is saving money, of course, on last-minute ticket deals. And, of course, it's also fun to just make that decision. Like, is there nothing better than sometimes making impromptu plans? Like just plans out of nowhere where you go see an event that you had no plans to go see. I went to a concert last night that I had tickets for like 6 months. It felt like forever until that concert came around.
You were complaining about it being outside.
Oh, don't even get me started on outdoor concerts.
But game time prices made it worth it.
Game time prices absolutely make it worth it. Not to mention the fact that you'll get a seat like down by the air conditioning for way less, of course, than what I paid at the normal price. But you can save up to 60% off buying tickets last minute for sporting events, concerts, and so much more. They'll even let you save even more on the app when you go in and get exclusive in-app deals on seats ahead of the game. And especially if you don't care about where you sit, if you just pick a zone, you can save even more money on letting them choose the seats for you. Of course, they do have the lowest price guarantee. Game Time will credit you 110% of the difference if for some reason you didn't get the lowest price with Game Time. So take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the app, create an account, and use code PHNX for $20 off your first purchase. Terms do apply. Again, create an account, redeem code PHNX for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. We got a little Mercury takeover coming up here. Not too long, right?
Tickets are going fast.
They are going fast.
They're almost out.
Well, you know why? Because Mercury is a wagon, just like the Diamondbacks.
Copper.
We are
ball.
We are the Copper State for sure. So make sure not to miss out on going to PHNX Mercury Takeover. If you are a diehard, you'll save on that event and all of our events, and you will save on partnerships, discounts with our partners. You'll also get yourself that free t-shirt from the PHNXlocker.com. You'll get your welcome package. You get access to all of our premium content, our Discord lounge. I had meetings with the mayor this weekend with our pal Steve Zinsmeister, the pregame and postgame show host for the D-backs radio. So do not miss out on all of that. Join us over here and become part of our family here with our diehard membership. We do have some more Mailbag Monday questions. Sometimes, by the way, we do mailbag just for diehards, by the way. Just throwing that out there. But Damon, what else we got?
Next question comes from Brett Lee Johnson, one of the friends of the program, and he says, with how terrible the new City Connect uniforms have been this year, are you worried that the potential new D-backs City Connect uniform for next year will be just as bad / even worse?
Well, I know one thing it won't be is fucking blue and yellow like all of these are. What is
up with the, MLB is just
that
like,
bad.
Copy paste.
Jesus Christ.
Detroit copy paste.
Philly.
Minnesota copy paste.
Twin. What?
Philly copy paste.
I'm sure someone would break down the color scheme just like I did with the Philadelphia flag and find out that there's some sort of significant reason that Minnesota decided to go with the same color scheme. But
and the Minnesota Twin City jersey is so nice.
Yes, the Twin Cities one.
Yes, so nice.
Simplistic. The font is beautiful. Nice. I love that one. This one's awful, and I really don't have an answer for you as to why they did what they did. I really don't understand, honestly, straying so far away from team colors that you stray into enemy territory. I'm not saying the Minnesota Twins and the Milwaukee Brewers are rivals, but my God, their states are right next to each other, right? They don't this isn't something that we want going on. I don't know.
Seattle's are blue and yellow.
Yeah, right. And theirs are awesome, but that's something. That's a whole other thing. That was the Pilots thing, right? That made so much sense, right?
They were just like, let's just blue, black, and yellow.
Derek, I think
can't stand it.
The disappointing thing is we were talking about how the Twins were waiting on theirs,
and we put them in the good category.
We were both saying the Twins are going to have a good uniform,
and
then they showed out with maybe the worst
one of my least favorite.
I think it's the worst one, given that it looks exactly like Phillies.
The Giants fog transition one's pretty bad,
but the worst part of
nothing now compared to how bad some of these other jerseys are.
I hate the
tire tracks on the Detroit Tigers one. Bleh.
I think that this is the worst one because it looks just like the Philly one, which already wasn't a good one.
Yes.
Now look,
that's the problem.
There's no originality and it's bad.
There's rumors that the D-backs are getting a purple one next year.
I think there will be. That's what Elise says in the chat right here.
Yes, correct. Now, if my purple jersey is going to look anything like what these recent City Connect jerseys have looked like,
that's crazy.
I will gladly never see a purple jersey again.
That's crazy because there's no reason for that at all. Not only that, but like you have to take into account like the fan reaction. I'll tell you something not to do. Don't do another black jersey. Whatever you do, because I already saw, like I liked the Mets one and people already started turning on the Mets. And I even saw a couple of people say it about the best jersey in baseball, which is the Tampa Bay Rays City Connect jersey, that like, oh, you're just falling on like the cool graphite black. Yeah, well, that's cool. So yes, but at the same time too, like the Rays one made a lot of sense. The Mets one to me made a lot of sense, but I guess to other people, not so much. They said it looked like a Yankees.
Can I be honest
jersey.
about our new uniforms that we're going to get? They better not be introducing any new colors. We have so many damn
old
colors.
Purple and old teal.
We have teal, we have
copper.
Purple, we have black,
Copper.
we have copper,
we
have Sedona red, we have
copper
light blue basically, which is our new teal. Like we have so
they
many
changed
colors.
the teal. That's the one thing that's bothered me about the new transition is now we have two different types of teal.
Yeah.
The second one, the new one is not teal. It's light blue.
It's baby blue.
What about Zach's comment about giving us a purple vest jersey? What about a vest?
Could be cool.
I'd be down with that because that's different. Nobody's done a City Connect shorts. What if we just do vest, no undershirt, just pure vest?
Well, what are we going back to the Reds? When they used to have the barbells in the dugouts and they would just pump and iron.
Yeah. But Damon is right, definitely, about the too many damn colors.
If they put like yellow on it, I'm gonna be pissed. Like we can't introduce any more colors to this team.
And don't build off of the
Jerry wears a lot of yellow.
That's like, but so like Cattell wears the pink and like it's sick. I love it.
Yeah.
But I'm talking about on the uniform.
Yeah.
Like, we don't need 9 uniform
Stay in the color
colors.
scheme. And if you're going to use purple and teal because you want to throw back, use the old purple and teal. Don't change it.
Yeah. I don't know. I think that purple and teal is a must. I wouldn't mind pinstripes. Wouldn't be terrible. Like, I guess I just want the old purple and pinstripe vest jersey. I guess that's all I want. But I mean, do something to honor some of that heritage and some of the
Brett's idea is kind of cool.
We don't have a lot of history.
The Rocky Mountain Rockies one, but instead it's the Grand Canyon and the sunset sky will have purple in it. That would be honestly like almost you like if you could do that, but pull off like a tequila sunrise old ASU jersey look.
I was kind of thinking that would be
what
nice.
Are you talking? The Rockies, Rocky Mountain. Are you talking about their City?
Their City Connect with the Rocky Mountains on it.
It's their goddamn license plate. No, we're not doing that. I refuse.
You don't want the Grand Canyon?
I do not want our license plate on a jersey. No. Okay.
I know I just said I didn't want to add more colors, but like a state flag themed one would be cool.
No, a state flag would be.
That's my one exception.
Yeah.
Because that has yellow in it.
I know. Yeah. That's why I just said it's my one exception.
It's different shade of blue. You really want to bring a royal blue into this, Damon? Really? I
have a hat that looks like it and it looks sick.
I don't know. I thought you were a fan, but I guess you're not.
I said it's my one damn exception, Derek.
Yeah, I mean, it's a pretty big exception. All right. You went off and said no yellow and then added yellow to it.
Yeah, I did.
Crazy. That's crazy. All right. What else we got?
Covering all my bases. We got Michael Rokicki with the next question, and he says, you have one senzu bean to give to an injured D-back to restore them to full health. Who are you giving it to?
Merrill
Kelly.
Merrill Kelly.
I need somebody
I have never had anything on this show be a unanimous answer as much as it's
Next
Merrill
question,
Kelly.
Damon.
We're moving on already. Yeah, I mean,
no explanation needed.
Everybody's saying Merrill in the chat too.
I mean, seriously, it's Merrill Kelly. That is the one person, right? Like Merrill, the mainstay.
I need somebody who can go 8 innings and give up 2 runs every time.
Merrill,
the dude goes to the 8th inning every time he pitches.
He's so
when
good.
I have an upset tummy, watching Merrill pitch settles it. Did you know that?
It's like ginger.
It's like ginger.
We talked about this in the playoffs last year. He was the perfect complement to Gallen. Like Gallen was so like he was either going to give you 7 innings, strike out 12 guys, and give up no runs, or he was going to go 5 innings, give up 4 runs, 5 runs. Merrill was the perfect complement to that because, like, no matter what happened in Zach's start, you knew what you were getting with Sweet Baby Merrill the day after.
Brett Johnson says Jesse would have asked, "What is a sensu bean?" Yeah, that's absolutely what Jesse would have asked.
Is it a bad time to ask that question?
No, you're not allowed to. We're just moving on because then you'd be Jesse. Actually, you are Jesse. You know, I don't know. We're not doing that. What else we got, Damon? Next question.
Next question comes from Paven Smith Fan Club, aka Piece of Yoshi, and he asks, "This question is solely for Damon since he's the founder of the Garrett Stubbs Hater Club. Did you see his dirty slide into Luis Torrens yesterday in London? I think the club is going to get a bunch of new members soon." Did you guys see this play?
Questions for you, Damon.
You guys don't want to.
It's solely for you.
I know it is, but I'm leading the chart here.
I did
Did
see
you
the
see
play.
it, Jacob?
Yeah, I did.
What was it in?
It was in the. It was yesterday's game,
I have
right?
it for us. Would you like to watch it?
Oh yeah, let's see it. Can we see it?
Yeah.
Is it a highlight?
Yeah, it's fine, right? There's no sound. Okay.
He said no.
That's fine.
All right.
Jacob is the arbiter of all that. Well, anyways, Garrett Stubbs slides into the catcher at home plate yesterday
I'll watch it
to end the game. It is one of the dirtiest slides I've ever seen. Garrett Stubbs is the biggest loser in baseball. He continues to be the biggest loser in baseball. The guy might as well be the Philly fanatic. He hits 190. He's a team cheerleader. I've never seen anything like it in my life. And why is it always Philly scumbags who do this kind of stuff?
He's fully in the grass.
It's insane.
Oh, I've seen it.
Yeah, he's fully in the grass.
Why is it Chase Utley? I mean, I know he was in a Dodgers uniform, but that doesn't really change it for me. But why is it always like a Philly scumbag, like Chase Utley trying to break Ruben Tejada's leg in a Mets uniform? Like, it's always these Phillies guys, and it's every time.
Well,
it's disgusting.
I will say that to actually hear how much Mets and Phillies players hate each other is it's actually unhinged, right? Like, to literally hear that, like, a guy you liked wearing the opposing team's laundry makes you hate that person now is kind of an incredible, fascinating like sociological experiment.
But it's the way Garrett Stubbs acts that
But you're
pisses
right.
people
I mean,
off.
the Phillies tend to have, I mean, I don't know. There's something in general about the Phillies that I feel like they as a team oddly take on their cities.
I don't know if I should say this, but I'm going to say this. My cousin last year said that his now wife says that the Phillies look like a bunch of guys you wouldn't want around your drink if you were going to go to the bathroom.
Yeah, that's probably something you should say, but you're probably right. No, I mean,
Like,
I get it.
They just don't look trustworthy. Is the point.
And I mean, from one perspective, I understand how much you would love those guys if they were on your team. Right. But from the rest of us watching from the outside in, your players tend to act like scumbags every once in a while. And that was definitely an example of that.
I got a good tweet for us here about Garrett Stubbs, and it's his 2024 highlights: 173 batting average, sub 500 OPS, 50 Gatorade cups filled for his teammates, and 1 dirty slide at home plate.
Like, what's
the most useless player in baseball?
There you go.
What's Brandon Marsh dumping water on his hair before the game for? Like,
he's disgusting.
Makes you look untrustworthy.
Yeah.
You look like you want to hurt somebody.
You look like a grosser version of Jason Worth.
Has anybody watched Hitman
and
on
Jason
Netflix
Worth
yet?
already looked like a gross version of Edge from WWE.
Look up. You've seen Gerald's nodding his head. Have you seen Hitman on Netflix yet?
Oh yeah.
You just watched it?
Yeah.
What's the other cop? Brandon Marsh looks like that guy. He looks like the guy that he takes his job.
Yeah. He's very wet. He's very gross. And I mean,
greasy.
There's your answer. Jacob gave you everything you want. Would you rather have Jace or Stubbs? Next question.
I would way rather have Jace. I hate.
He's a good dude.
Like,
I heard
Jace
everything I heard about Jace is that he's a good locker room guy.
I don't hate Jace personally. I think he's a really, really bad baseball player. I hate Garrett Stubbs. He's like my least favorite player in the sport, and he's so irrelevant. So that's how it's insane that he's made himself this unlikable.
That you're even that angry at him. Like, how do you muster up that energy?
He plays 20 games a season. It's because he talks like he's a superstar.
I know. Well, it's because he's the Philly fanatic.
He is the Philly fanatic. He's damn good at his job,
yeah,
too.
He's really good. Bryce Harper had a bat with Garrett Stubbs on it yesterday. All right, what else do we got?
You get the Philly fanatic sliding in dirty at home plate. It's insane.
All right, what do we got?
Next question comes from Ryan Hanley, and he asks, when you look in the mirror, are the Diamondbacks a wagon?
The Diamondbacks will forever be a wagon.
I don't know anymore.
Get your phone out, pretend to take a selfie, and tell me what you say.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, they're a wagon. Yeah.
You can't half-ass
That's
it
so
like that.
unconvincing, Derek.
They
You can't
could be a
half-ass that.
wagon. They might be a wagon when they have all of their settlers back. What are they? Pilgrim? No, what is in a wagon? What is it? Settlers, right? I don't know. When they have their whole team back, you know what I'm getting at. I don't think so, but for right now, they're not.
It was just a bunch of hay.
Yeah, I mean, they have the horses, they have wheels on it, but I don't know if it's rolling anywhere yet. We'll just say that much.
Let's just say that like this is the Oregon Trail, and we're starting off like
Yeah.
we're in like Tennessee right now.
yeah.
We're not
decided-
even damn close.
We decided instead of traveling to the bridge to like go through the water, and right now things aren't looking so good. Zach said a wagon missing a wheel or two is still a wagon. There you go. We are a wagon. I'm going to go with Zach's answer there. That's a good answer.
I feel like Oregon Trail is like a good comparison too, because you just look up and it's like Erod has
yeah.
Whooping cough.
Another starting pitcher died of dysentery.
he has whooping cough.
Whooping cough.
Whooping cough.
All right. Yeah, that's probably where we're at. All right. What else we got? We got one more question.
Yeah,
It's
last
probably
question
the
here.
most important question of the
From
whole day.
Elizabeth, and she says, which PHNX staff member best represents each of the 7 dwarves? Lindsay as Sleepy is probably a given. Derek, I just want to say right off the bat, I think you're dopey.
Yeah, no, I mean,
agreed on
we
that
already
too.
agreed on that
Derek
before.
and I basically have our list together on this. So, Damon, if you want to ask us about them,
boot?
like look up the dwarves and ask each dwarf will go through. Derek and I will tell you what we have.
Yeah.
All right, so let's start it off with Grumpy. Who's Grumpy?
Saul.
That was such a fast answer. It's insane.
I mean, like, I don't want to dwell on it too much, but I think we can all agree on that and just move on before he hears us or sees it. What else we got?
All right, next one is, how about, I mean, we already did Dopey. That's Derek,
That's
right?
me. Yeah, I've conceded.
Sleepy is Lindsay. They are
Sleepy
right.
is absolutely Lindsay.
Yeah.
Right. Sneezy?
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
Lindsay sleeps. I think Lindsay sleeps more than you.
Yeah,
Mac.
Mac is always on the couch under a blanket, though. But to be fair, she's always
Mac
on social
is
media.
Linus, but that's just a different.
That's peanuts. That's a whole other conversation. We've already had that question, I'm pretty sure. All right. Jacob is sneezy.
I'm sneezy.
You're sneezy, right?
Yeah, because when I start sneezing, I don't.
You don't stop. Yeah.
What about Doc?
We discussed this.
We're torn on this.
Yeah, but we think that Doc is Espo.
Yeah.
Yeah?
My other thought was
The
Craig.
glasses?
My other thought was Craig.
Well, because so Doc's kind of, he's the leader
He is
of
the
the
leader.
dwarfs, right? And he has lots of traits, and Espo has lots of traits. He's funny. I mean, he's all the dwarves combined into one in a way.
I sit across from Espo.
Yeah,
I'm just leave it at that.
that's it. Yeah, okay. What else we got?
They both got glasses. It works out perfectly,
Yeah,
right?
and beards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Happy.
Happy. Max?
Max.
Yeah,
Max.
that's a good one.
Yeah. Because he's always happy.
Yeah.
Even when he's mad, it's just a joke. He's just pretending like
the
he's
other
mad.
thing that could work is Lindsay could be grumpy and Mac could be sleepy.
Yes. Yes. But I dare you to say that to her.
I'll tell Lindsay to her face that she's grumpy.
Oh, man.
Lindsay and I fight every day.
We have one last one here. Bashful.
Jesse.
Jesse. Yeah. Jesse. Just listen to the way he says, oh, gosh, sometimes when I'm in the middle
Oh,
of one of my
gosh.
rants. Yeah. Like it's like
Oh,
like
gosh.
as if I'm making him say the things that I'm
He's,
saying.
like,
and
blushing
directly
for you.
Yeah, he'll do a
impacted.
goodness too. He'll
he'll
throw
do
in a goodness. Goodness.
Yeah. That's pretty solid. There we go.
Those are actually really good. Those
Yeah.
stick pretty well.
Yeah. Snow White. Would that be Mac? Or is it Leah?
That's probably Leah.
That's probably Leah. Yeah, we're going back to Mac probably being
Who could sing to birds the best and make
Why
them
is Shane not?
That's Leah.
Why is Shane
Yeah,
not
that's
Snow
Leah.
White? Is the real question.
Oh, well, in this scenario, if Leah is Snow White, then Shane would be
Prince Charming.
Prince
right?
Charming.
Yeah.
He's a
I
good
mean,
Prince Charming.
He is definitely Prince Charming. You should just hear him talk about his cosmonauts baseball team. That
Yeah.
alone will charm the pants off of you. But anyway, we appreciate Mac's the evil queen.
I
Yeah.
call mirror on the
gave
wall.
Snow White
She
the
will
apple.
Mac will definitely offer you an apple that's dripping in butter that's
Butter.
causes you to slip on the kitchen floor and almost kill yourself. And that's a real thing that happened around here. Anyway. Yeah, she's I mean, she does have like she looks like the evil queen in the transformation. Like,
I don't know.
Right now, like,
I don't know when the last time I saw
over there.
Michaela work at her desk was.
Oh, that's true. Yeah,
I
that's
mean,
true.
we're guys like this is a very like we're going on probably 3 or 4 months at this point.
Oh yeah, no,
Of
I
her
don't.
sitting on this couch over
Yeah,
here
no, she's
every
just
day. She's
made
every
this
show
her
you watch
office.
in here.
Yeah.
She's here.
It's wild. She's always there, always listening, always ready to give her opinion. Well, we thank you guys for your wonderful questions. As always, Mailbag Monday wouldn't be what it is without you guys. So thank you again for sending those in. Of course, we appreciate your time today. We're going to get out of here, but we will be back tomorrow with a post-game show. Jesse, hopefully, will make it back. I'm going to worry this whole time until he does arrive back here in Phoenix. But of course, you can follow all of us on Twitter. I'm at Cap_Caveman with a K. Jacob is at Jacob_Franklin4 because he is the fourth best Jacob Franklin.
But Chris
Yep.
pointed out I'm the number 1 Fosh.
You are the number 1 Faj in my heart, that's for sure. Of course, the number 1 producer in all of your hearts is the people's producer. That's Damon Dog. You can follow him on Twitter at Damon Dog. That's DAWG. We are Damon's dogs.
Roof, roof.
Bark, bark. That's how it goes. What the hell? You hit the Puerto Rico line. Jesse, hurry back. My God. This guy doesn't even understand the cues. Anyway, again, we are all at PHNX_DBacks, but all roads do lead to at PHNX_sports.
See you in 3 months.
On Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. We're locking this guy back in his office with all of his hot takes and his opinions. But we thank you guys for stopping by. We appreciate your time. We'll see you tomorrow. And remember, kids, baseball is fun, but it's so much more fun when Jacob stops by to tell you the Diamondbacks are going to have a plus 500 record by the All-Star break.
We all silly like the mayor.